Hi everyone, I'm Taryn and it's My World Monday, and today I'd like to talk to you about nursing. My baby was latching but then letting go. So it would latch and then let go, latch and then let go. And so what that resulted in was overly produced milk, not really be able to let down my milk at all, and not really being able to actually have the experience of the baby to the breast. So the way that I was going to be able to give him breast milk was to be through pumping. That resulted in me ordering 3 breast pumps. Again, I was using that breast pump anywhere from 12 to 14 times a day so that I can build up the supply. Through observation, we learned that he was really agitated during feeding. It wasn't a smooth experience. He wasn't laying and just taking in milk. He was kind of jerky and moving all around and looking pretty uncomfortable. And we also noticed that he was making this noise. It sounded a little more like a grunt, and it was all throughout him eating. We noticed that this was not just during eating. This was during sleeping. This was also during just sitting around and being held. This was in when he would mostly look pretty comfortable. He was still making this grunting noise. And at times it would almost sound like he was trying to catch his breath, but never looked in distress. We learned that our son had laryngomalacia, which is a typical condition that happens with children with Down syndrome because of their low muscle tone. With that came a series of trial and error to find the right nipple, to find the right positioning for the best feeding experience that we can give him. Early intervention is a systematic approach to intervening as the developmental stages kind of are happening in young children, and really kind of focusing in on the areas that need more practice. And so because we have a child with Down syndrome, we were already eligible for early intervention, and that early intervention can take place right at birth. And so a week after my son was born, we immediately took advantage of early intervention services, and we did that by working with a feeding consultant, a lactation consultant, and a speech therapist to help us better understand the needs of our baby and how we were going to be successful feeding him. We were able to get a case manager that would help us identify a family plan for our child and identify goals and next steps for intervention that would then come from our interventionist. And that interventionist would either work on physical therapy or occupational therapy or speech therapy, speech and language therapy. There's an array of therapists and interventions that can take place, and it's all based on your child's needs. You have access to that already, so take advantage of it just like we did. Believe me, we are active parents, smart individuals, ones that can research anything. But at this stage of the game and in this process, I am a huge advocate of taking all the resources you have and looking into them and using them, even if you think you don't need them right now. Why? Because they're available to you. And the more experiences and practice you can give your baby at an early age, it helps with that foundation so that later on in life, there's less to worry about. The basics, they identify strengths, weaknesses, goals, and a plan of intervention to meet those goals. But what's most important is that you have a plan, you know what's in the plan, you've created the plan, together with your case manager and the rest of your family, and you're using that plan to really help guide and direct next steps with your therapy and intervention. It was recommended to me early on by a wonderful mother in the Down syndrome community to keep in mind that you're going to have to talk to many people. There are many, many wonderful people that are out there willing to work with your child and to work with you. But as we all know, with a lot of people to manage and communicate with comes the need for your own organization. And so it was recommended to have a binder. And so what I have created here, which again was a recommendation from a wonderful mom in the community, was to have a binder and keep inside this binder all of the printouts you get from your doctor's appointments, the printouts that you get from early intervention, the information you receive from any organizations that you're a part of, anything you get from hospital visits, everything pertaining to your child. You kind of want all in one place, because I can't tell you how many times I have been to an appointment and they have asked me what all the other doctors and therapists and case managers have said to me. Could never be that on top of it. You need a place to refer back to. And so it's pretty easy now. And when I come back from these visits, it's pretty simple to basically whip out this document, go to the most recent visit, and basically share information. So have a binder, have something where you can hold everything together and you can feel like you're on top of your game. Another tip for ongoing communication with the many folks that will be working with your family: use one form of communication that you feel really confident in, and make sure that each one of those individuals are also able to use that form of communication. It is important that you are in the driver's seat in this entire process. Yes, be a learner, but never ever discount the fact that you are your child's first teacher. You actually are the expert of your child. There's many people that are going to be experts in various fields. You are the expert of your baby. You were the first person caring for your baby. You are the person that your child relies on most, and all of those caretakers around you really rely on you. So make sure that that plan that you're creating with everyone is a plan that really speaks to the things that you feel that are important for your family and for your baby. Also keep in mind that this plan can change. And this plan is not about meeting a goal and checking off a box and moving on. It's about ample practice and exposure and experience ongoing throughout. Ask the questions that will help you feel better about the progress and the process. And then if you don't feel like you're getting your needs met and your baby's not getting their needs met, make a change.